All right, so we're diving deep today
Mhm.
into The Science of Getting Rich.
Yeah.
It's by Wallace D. Wattles.
Mm-hmm.
This early 20th century book claims there's a whole science to getting rich,
Right.
But before we go any further,
Yeah.
let's be clear.
Okay.
This isn't financial advice or anything.
No.
But I think exploring Wattles' ideas
Mhm.
could really spark some new thinking, for everyone listening.
Definitely.
So, are you ready to dive in?
I'm ready.
Okay, great. So what I find really interesting is how Wattles presents wealth as like a system.
Oh, yeah.
He calls it a certain way of thinking and
It's
acting.
the whole philosophy.
Yeah, and he challenges this idea
Mm-hmm.
that it's all about luck or talent or even just hard work in the traditional sense.
He really flips the script on those common beliefs.
He does. And
Yeah.
right off the bat, like in the first chapter,
Yeah.
he throws out this bold statement
Yeah.
that everyone has the right to be rich.
You can already imagine people's reactions to that one, right?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, well, hold on a second.
Exactly.
But he wasn't just talking about, like,
Uh,
yachts and mansions.
right, yeah.
Wattles believed that being rich was about enabling you
Yeah.
to live a fuller life,
Interesting.
like for your mind, body, and soul.
He takes it beyond just the material stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
He even goes so far as to say that
Right.
limiting yourself financially is, like, sinful?
Wow.
That's a pretty strong word, right?
Yeah, that's a very strong statement.
I mean, that's not something you hear every day.
It almost sounds like a moral imperative to pursue wealth, not just like a material desire.
It's like he's saying it's your duty to thrive.
Yeah, exactly.
He makes this argument
Yeah.
that if you're constantly struggling to make ends meet,
Mm-hmm.
it actually prevents you
Oh,
from
no.
fully experiencing all that life has to offer.
I see.
Like you need resources to pursue your passions,
Right.
contribute to the world.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the journey,
Makes sense. So it's not about greed.
No,
It's about having the freedom
Yeah,
to live this richer, more expansive life.
exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a different perspective.
But Wattles also kind of takes aim at some common beliefs,
Like what?
Like the idea that thriftiness leads to wealth.
Oh,
He
interesting.
even points out
Yeah.
that plenty of spenders get rich
Uh,
while the penny pinchers stay poor.
it's true. You see that all the time.
It seems counterintuitive, doesn't it?
It does challenge a lot of what we're told
Yeah.
about money.
So what's he saying? Like,
Well, Wattles was really adamant that
mhm.
following this specific mindset,
Yeah.
His certain way
Right.
is the key to riches,
Interesting.
no matter your background
Okay.
or your current circumstances.
So it's not about where you start.
Nope.
It's about how you think.
He believed that was the real determining factor.
And he uses some interesting examples from his time.
Oh, yeah. What kind of examples?
Well, he talks about how electric railways
Yep.
were overtaking the standard rail,
Interesting.
and then small farms were outperforming giant steel mills.
Makes you think.
It does. And he seems to be saying that opportunity
Mm-hmm.
isn't fixed.
It's like it's not limited.
Yeah, or monopolized.
Okay.
It's always shifting.
I think we see that even more dramatically today
yeah.
with tech startups,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
disrupting whole industries.
Right.
Like, think about how things have changed just in the last few years.
It's amazing. So even those small players
Mhm.
can become major forces
Yeah.
if they tap into this certain way.
That's what Wattles argued.
But what is this certain way exactly?
Well, this is where it gets
Okay.
maybe a little metaphysical.
All right.
Wattles starts talking about this thinking substance.
Thinking substance?
Yeah, from which all things are made.
Mm.
It's like the foundation of everything.
Okay, this is where Wattles connects with ideas like,
Oh, okay.
the law of attraction.
Right.
Though he was writing
Right.
well before that term became popular.
Long before.
He's basically saying our thoughts
Mhm.
can actually impress upon
Okay.
this thinking substance
Interesting.
and shape our reality.
So it's not just wishful thinking then.
No, it's more like a focused intention that sets things in motion.
I see.
It's about aligning your thoughts with what you want.
Makes sense.
He uses this analogy of wanting a sewing machine.
A sewing machine. Okay.
Yeah, he says you don't just
Right.
will it into existence,
Yeah.
but by holding this clear mental picture of it
Okay.
with purpose and faith,
Mm-hmm.
you actually set forces in motion
Wow.
that bring it to you.
I like that analogy.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So the takeaway for our listener
Yeah.
is that our thoughts have real power. We can use them to shape our financial reality.
So it's not about just visualizing piles of money.
Not just that. No, it's
No.
about having
Oh, okay.
a clear mental picture
Yeah.
of what you want to achieve with that wealth.
Exactly.
Like, what do you want that money to do for you?
Right, right. But Wattles doesn't stop at visualization, does he?
No, he doesn't.
He places this huge emphasis on
On what?
gratitude.
Oh, yes, gratitude.
Like being thankful
Mhm.
plays a crucial role in his system.
He saw it as essential.
Yeah.
He argues that the more grateful you are,
Mm.
the more you receive.
Interesting.
And it's not just a feel-good sentiment for him.
Right.
He sees gratitude as a practical technique
Okay.
to align yourself with this creative power of the universe.
It's like tuning into the right frequency.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got the power of thought,
Yeah.
the importance of gratitude.
Two key ingredients.
But I imagine thought alone isn't enough.
No, definitely not.
There's got to be action involved, right?
Absolutely.
Wattles is very clear about that.
Action is essential.
He emphasizes that your actions must be aligned with your vision and infused with purpose.
So no more mindlessly scrolling through social media.
Uh-huh.
I guess not.
Every action should have intention behind it.
Right. So he's saying
Yeah.
do what you can where you are with excellence.
Exactly.
He even suggests that every action, no matter how small, is an opportunity to express your intention of getting rich.
Like a constant affirmation for your actions.
So even seemingly mundane tasks,
Like what?
like making that sales call or organizing your workspace, can be infused with this purpose.
They become part of the bigger picture?
It's about bringing that intentionality to everything you do.
To your whole life.
Exactly.
And Wattles says don't overwork yourself.
But make each action efficient and purposeful.
Don't just work harder. Work smarter.
That's the key.
So we've been talking about this certain way of thinking and how it can lead to wealth.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to acknowledge something here.
Yeah.
You know, for some listeners, they might be feeling a little hesitant.
Hesitant about what?
About the whole idea of wanting to be rich.
Oh, I see.
I mean, there's often the stigma around wealth, right?
Yeah.
Like this idea that wanting more is somehow greedy.
Right, or selfish.
Exactly.
Wattles addresses that directly.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, he doesn't shy away from it.
Okay.
He actually reminds us that the desire for a richer life, a fuller life, is totally natural.
Interesting.
He even says,
What does he say?
the man who does not desire to live more abundantly is abnormal.
Wow.
He really puts it out there.
Yeah, he doesn't mince words.
No, he's very direct.
But I get what he's saying.
Yeah.
Like, we all want to experience the best life has to offer.
Of course.
Whether it's travel or creative pursuits, helping others,
Right.
or simply just having more choices.
It's about freedom.
Yeah, exactly.
And he sees wealth as a tool that enables us to do those things.
I see.
It's not the end goal.
Right.
It's a means to a more fulfilling life.
Yeah, I think another hurdle for some people
Okay.
is that feeling of
Of what?
there's not enough to go around.
The scarcity mindset.
Yeah, like if I get rich,
Right.
doesn't that mean someone else has to lose out?
He tackles that too.
Okay, good.
Wattles says we need to abandon that way of thinking.
So he's saying there's actually enough for everyone.
He argues that the supply of riches is limitless.
Limitless, wow.
He uses this analogy.
Okay, I like analogies.
He compares it to building materials,
Okay.
saying there's enough in the United States alone to build a palace for every family on Earth.
That's a lot of palaces.
It is, right. It really puts things in perspective.
Yeah, it does.
But he goes even further.
He does.
Yeah, he talks about this formless stuff.
Formless stuff.
This primordial substance from which everything is made.
So this is where it gets a little metaphysical.
He's really diving deep here.
I know.
He describes this original substance as a kind of thinking stuff.
Thinking stuff.
It's alive with creative energy.
Interesting.
And constantly producing more.
So even if we were to, exhaust all the physical resources, there's still this infinite potential just waiting to be tapped into.
That's what he believed.
I have to admit, this is where I start to get a little skeptical.
I understand that.
It's a big concept.
It is. It requires a leap of faith.
It does. It does.
But Wattles was convinced that this formless stuff responds to our needs and won't let us be without any good thing.
Interesting.
He believed that no one is poor because nature is poor. It's because they haven't learned to align themselves with this creative power.
So it's not about competing for a limited pie. It's about tapping into this infinite source of abundance.
That's the key takeaway here.
Okay.
And this is where the certain way comes in.
Okay, so how do we put this certain way into practice?
Well, Wattles outlines a series of steps.
Okay, what's the first step?
The first step is getting clear on what you want.
Okay, so like setting goals.
Yes, but he stresses the importance of forming a definite mental picture.
Okay.
Not just harboring vague desires.
Got it. Be specific.
Exactly.
He uses that example of a man who wanted to build a house, right?
Yes. Yeah. The man visualized every detail.
Yeah, like the layout and the furnishing.
Precisely. And that's what Wattles encourages us to do.
Okay.
Create a detailed mental blueprint of the wealth we desire.
So don't just wish for more money.
No. Get specific.
Okay. About
what you want to do. To experience.
That's that picture.
Yes. Make it vivid.
But it's not enough to just daydream, right?
Right. There needs to be more.
Wattles talks about the importance of purpose and faith.
Yes. You need that burning desire to bring your vision to life and unwavering faith.
Faith in a what?
That it's already on its way to you.
Interesting.
He talks about living in the new house mentally.
Oh, okay.
Wearing the fine clothes.
Yeah.
Taking those dream trips.
All in your imagination.
Exactly.
So it's about feeling the reality of your vision now.
Before it manifests physically.
But how does that actually work?
It's about aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe.
Okay.
He encourages you to be as thankful for your riches now while they're still in your imagination.
Interesting.
As you will be when they materialize.
So that's where gratitude comes in again.
Exactly.
It's not just about being thankful for what you have, but cultivating gratitude for what's to come.
It's about shifting your mindset.
From lack to abundance.
Yes. From limitation to possibility.
And that's the foundation of the certain way.
The starting point.
Okay, so we've talked about the power of thought, gratitude, and aligning our actions with our vision.
Yeah, those are some of the core principles.
But how do we make sure that our actions are actually effective?
That's a great question.
It's easy to get caught up in busy work,
Oh, yeah. Been there.
And it doesn't really move us closer to our goal.
You're just spinning your wheels.
Exactly.
Well, Wattles talks about this in his chapter on efficient action.
Efficient action.
He really emphasizes doing what you can where you are right now.
That's procrastinating.
He has this great line.
Okay, what is it?
Every day is either a successful day or a day of failure.
Wow.
And it is the successful days which get you what you want.
So make every day count.
Exactly.
But he also cautions against burning ourselves out, trying to do everything at once.
He was a big believer in focus.
Okay.
Focusing on one task at a time and doing it well.
So quality over quantity.
He also says to put your whole mind into your work.
Okay.
Infuse it with the purpose of getting rich.
So it's not just about working hard.
No.
It's about working smart.
With intention.
And even if you're, say, stuck in a job you don't love, Wattles says you can still apply these principles and move toward your vision.
He saw your current situation as a stepping stone to something better.
Yeah.
So even if it's not ideal, you can still be growing and learning.
He encourages us to see our circumstances as opportunities.
I like that.
Not obstacles.
It's about using what you have where you are.
Create momentum.
And he even suggests
What's that?
That as you do this, new opportunities will appear.
He says it's like inherent in the cosmos.
In the cosmos.
That things will work together for your good.
Almost like the universe is conspiring to help you if you're aligned with a certain way.
That's pretty amazing.
But Wattles also offers some cautions.
Oh, okay. Like what?
He warns against, for example, seeking power over others.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's easy to fall into that trap.
I know, thinking that to get ahead, someone else has to lose.
Right. But Wattles believed that true wealth benefits everyone.
So it's not a zero-sum game.
It's about expanding the pie.
Not just grabbing a bigger slice.
And he emphasizes that competition and the desire for power actually block creativity and abundance.
It's more about collaboration then.
Creating win-win situations.
And finally, what does he say about our thoughts and words?
He's very clear about that.
Okay.
We need to guard them.
Guard them.
Don't dwell on negativity.
Okay.
Don't speak about lack and limitation.
Focus on the positive.
Yes. Abundance and possibility.
So it's about creating a mental atmosphere that supports our vision.
And Wattles believed that as we apply these principles consistently, riches will flow into our lives.
So we've explored the science of getting rich.
It's a fascinating book.
But Wattles wrote this over 100 years ago.
A very different time.
Do you think this certain way is still relevant today?
That's a great question.
I mean, our world is so fast-paced.
And technology-driven?
Yeah, totally different.
Well, the world has changed, but I think the fundamental principles, the power of thought, the importance of belief in action, the creative potential of gratitude, those are timeless.
I agree. It's definitely given me a lot to think about.
It challenges you to examine your own beliefs.
Well, what about you listening?
Yeah, has this deep dive sparked any new ideas?
If you're intrigued, I encourage you to check out the book.
The Science of Getting Rich.
You might be surprised
by how much resonates even today. Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time.
Keep those minds curious.
And those visions bold.
You have the power to create the life you desire.